The story we're doing today is from one of the Old Testament prophets called Daniel. And this story comes at a time when the children of Israel had been living in the Holy Land where the Lord had promised they would come, and they had lived there for generations. And then a king comes and conquers their land and takes away some of the really good-looking and important and intelligent and really smart people. Some of the older ones and some of the younger ones. And one of the ones that was taken from their home to a place called Babylon was a young man called Daniel. So this is from the book of Daniel, part of chapter 2. And in the second year of Nebuchadnezzar, he had a dream. And he said to his soothsayers, "Tell me my dream." He said, "If you do not make known to me my dream, there's only one sentence for you, death." Now, I should stop here and just say, the king didn't give them any hints about what he had dreamt about. It wasn't like the story of Joseph, where he was told, "I had this dream, can you interpret it for me?" And so Joseph went and told the Pharaoh what his dream was, what it meant. In this story, Nebuchadnezzar didn't even say, "My dream was about this or that." He just said to people, "You're so smart, you tell me what my dream was, and then tell me what it means." Who would like to interpret or know what that answer is? No. So the chief prisoner was gathering, the chief keeper of the prison was gathering together all those people who should have known, according to the king, what the dream was supposed to be. And he came to Daniel, and Daniel said, "Allow me to pray." And Daniel asked the king to give him a little time, and then he would give him his interpretation. And then he said to him, "O king, you were watching, and behold, a great image. This great image, the splendor of it was excellent. It stood before you, and its form was awesome. And the image had a head which was of gold, a chest and arms of silver, a belly which was of bronze along with the thighs," that's the upper part of the legs. "The lower legs were made of iron, and the feet iron partly mixed with clay. And then you watched a great stone struck the image, a stone that wasn't cut by any human hands, and it hit it in the feet, and it crumbled." Amen. Daniel just was given by the Lord to know what the dream was. Can you hold that? Let's see what that is. You can pass it over. At least with Joseph, Joseph was told by the king what the dream. Just squeeze that a little bit. Tell me if you can tell what it is. But in Daniel's story, he saw this. He had to know what the dream was and say what the interpretation was. Who's back there? Let me see. I'll take a little piece back to somebody in the way back. Okay. Rosalie, can you tell me what this is? Do you know what that is? You can hold that a little bit. Non-toxic. There you are. I thought I saw you back. Do you know what this is? I could give it to some of the grown-ups, and you'd all say, it's plasticine, right? Is that what it is? Can you tell, Abby? Is it plasticine? Do you know what it is? Oh, it's clay, just like the story. It's clay. And right now, the piece I gave you is soft. You can play with that for a little while, but you can bring it back up and put it on the table when you're done. So this great image that Nebuchadnezzar saw, gold head, silver chest and arms, bronze belly and thighs, and then iron, and its feet were iron mixed with clay. Who knows what iron is? If I showed you a piece of iron, do you think you'd recognize it? You think so? Okay. You think this is iron? Steel. Okay. It's made out of iron. This is heavy equipment stuff. You know what this is for? Can you guess? I'm going to be oh so gentle. Raise your hand if you know what that's for. Some people do. So this is the hitch that goes on the back of a car that holds a trailer. And it's made out of really strong iron and steel. And I brought this one because it's so rusty. It's really older. Can you hold that? Do you want to hold this? Don't be afraid of it. Can you have it? How about you? You think you could hold that? You sure now? It's pretty heavy. Can you gently show Abby how heavy it is? You want to come up here and look at this? Girls, you want to come on up here? So I don't have to bring it all the way back. It's so heavy to bring all the way back there. You can come sit up here for a minute. Oh, okay. Come on.
It's so heavy.
Can you come on up here? See? This is an older one that slips into their receptacle. Go ahead, sit there. I'm going to hand this to you. Did you get a piece of clay to look at? All right. See if you can hold that together. Is that the heaviest thing you've ever held? Pretty much. Okay, it's really, really heavy. And our cars and trucks are made out of this, and you think it would last forever, right? It doesn't. It doesn't. The paint chips away, and it becomes rusty, and then the rust just deteriorates. You can wipe your hands off. It won't hurt you. So I decided to help illustrate this story that I would make my own. What do you think? Pretty good, huh? How's that feel? Pretty good, huh? Think it'll work? See? Got a hole in it for my trailer hitch ball. What do you think? Is it sort of just like this one, right? Pretty good, huh? You think so? Think it's going to work really well? I even stuck it in the oven so that it'd be hard. What do you think? You don't think you think it's going to work? Yeah. All right. Who wants to put the ball on here? Okay, Connor or Gray, come on from way back there. Don't step on anybody's toes. Now, the nice thing about clay is if you don't step on it, you can vacuum it right up. So come on over here so people can see what you're doing. See, this ball that goes on this hitch is a really big ball, but I've got a smaller 1 7/8 inch ball, not a 2-inch ball, that's going to go on my model. So do you see how it fits on there? Now, if you tighten that up, if you pull that, you would not break this, right? Right? You don't have to tighten it up. We just believe you. Can you pull that ball out of there? Put it on there. Now be gentle. And now you can tighten it up. So the big, giant image that King Nebuchadnezzar saw, it had its feet made out of iron mixed with clay. Yeah, we do need a wrench, but that's good enough. And you think this is going to be really strong? You think we should have you pull it?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, pull it. See if it holds together. You weren't even pulling down with gravity, you just pulled straight up, right? So this is really not a very, very strong thing. Now, it hasn't been fired like you would make a pot or a cup. Thank you for picking a little piece of that. But we'll just make sure when you walk past here, people don't grind it into the carpet too much. Nebuchadnezzar's dream, the feet were iron mixed with clay. Not a good combination. And a rock that arose that hit that statue and crumbled it and grew into as large as the whole earth, it said. That stands for the teachings we have that can take over and clarify everything and help us not try to put our faith and our trust in trailer hitches that are made out of clay. Go ahead, sit down. Thank you very much, Gray. Not put our trust in ideas that really don't mix together very well from the Word. That statue, it couldn't stand for very long. All the weight of all that gold, silver, bronze, and iron on top of feet of clay. Feet of clay. Not a good idea. And the lesson about it is to remind us to put our trust in the Lord, but not in feet of clay, not in things that are just made up of worldly dirt. That's what clay is. It's basically just dirt. The gold represented in the Word is the things the Lord teaches us. And the good things the Lord gives us, to love Him, to love one another. Those are the beautiful things. But if they're founded on just whimsical behavior and worldly things, it will never stand. Thank you for coming.